Hello and welcome to this video. Nicholas and I today want to talk to you about how to maximize the most out of the traffic that you already have, how to get the most bang out of your dollar, and essentially it's re-engaging people to come back and take action. Because let's face it, today we're paying 5 times more.
5 times, yeah.
5 times more for a visitor. So why leave it to chance? Nicholas has done some calculations.
Yeah.
At best, you're probably converting 7%?
I'd say 7%. Yeah,
7%?
On a good day.
On a good day.
Yeah.
So if you're getting 100 visitors to your website, 7 of those are doing okay?
You're doing all right, yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing with that 93? Those 93 that are circulating on the web and possibly buying off your competitors.
Correct. And this is what this video is going to be going into today. It's trying to explain to you what the opportunities are, because Nicholas and I think that that's where a lot of businesses fall short.
Yeah.
They don't take advantage of it. So this is a brief introduction into re-engaging and remarketing your existing customers.
Yeah.
So, or existing traffic, I should say.
Yeah.
Let's not get that wrong. So people come to your website and they bounce, they go away, they get distracted,
Yeah.
they don't like what they see.
Yeah.
So this is a way to get them to come back, because Google and a lot of these tools out in the marketplace, what's actually happening is they can track everything.
We can track everything, yeah.
We can track everything. So Google builds a list, right?
Correct.
So they build a list over time, and that list is then available on the Google or Facebook or LinkedIn search engine for marketers and business owners to take advantage of.
Yeah.
So the question is, why wouldn't you take advantage of it?
Exactly.
Okay, so that was a brief introduction. Let's get into the how it works. So basically, it all starts with tagging the visitor.
Correct. Do you want to just
Yeah. Let's demonstrate really
what
quickly.
it is, simplify what we mean by tagging. So we run advertisements on platforms such as Google, LinkedIn,
Facebook. Facebook's a big one these days.
huge, and it's great for remarketing.
Yep.
Facebook, so they're the three. So we could be running display ads, video ads on these platforms, obviously to drive people over to your web page. Okay, so that's your web page. Right, you've got your traffic source coming across, and like we said before, only 7% of that traffic source there is probably converting at best. So you've got 93% of visitors circulating and probably dropping off out of that page and falling back into the web, and looking for maybe a cheaper alternative, maybe a co-product that's similar but not the same, probably has a different output or a different service or different pricing, etc. And what we want to do is we want to tag those visitors and then run advertisement again on these platforms, but a different type of advertisement, to try and get them to come back to this page and take action on it.
Yeah, correct. And the key word there was different advertisements, right?
Yes.
Because the biggest mistake that we often see businesses make is that they'll just run the same old ad over and over again.
Yeah.
And let's just face it, if they haven't engaged or they haven't converted on the first time,
Yeah.
then what's to say that you run the same advertisement to them 2 times and they're going to respond the second time? They're
Correct.
not. So we're going to talk about, later in this video, we're going to talk about ways to get people to re-engage.
Yeah.
But essentially what we're doing is we're getting the traffic from Google
Yeah.
or wherever, and then we're remarketing to these people using these other platforms.
Correct. And a lot of businesses are getting it wrong because they think that getting more and more of this type of traffic is going to result in a bigger conversion rate here. But in fact, like we said before, this traffic here is 5 times the price. Well, think about it, you've already paid for this traffic. Why not try and convert some of this traffic that you've paid for at a cheaper rate?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Because what you're saying essentially is that this 93%,
Yeah.
it's not gone entirely. It's there. It's on the list. It's stored.
Correct. You've paid for it.
You've paid for it. So Google makes that available. LinkedIn makes that available. Facebook makes that available.
Yeah.
YouTube makes that available. So what Nick is saying is utilize this. So if you're paying $5 a click,
Yeah.
here for remarketing, you could probably be paying what, $1.50, $1.80?
$1.50. You could even get it down to $1.20, even $1. I've seen some campaigns where they're getting it down to 30 cents because they're running videos. You know, why not run a video out at 30 cents and try and get, 50 or 60% of that traffic to come over again? They could convert.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So Nick, tell me about so that's tagging. We need to tag the website so the website knows what those visitors are and where they've gone.
Yeah.
So what the next step is, essentially you're trying to tag different parts of your website.
Correct.
What are we looking to do?
We're looking to tag certain, you can tag certain specific pages. You can tag, how a person interacts with the page. So whether you've got a form, and if a person does fill out the form, you can obviously tag them there. Or if a person doesn't fill out the form, you can tag those people. Now, the reason we do this on different levels, we actually qualify people on how they've interacted with your website. Obviously, if they've made an interaction like submitting their details, they would be a warm prospect, correct?
Correct.
If they haven't and they've just come to your site and they've gotten distracted because the kids have come home and they've got to you've got to cook dinner, or you've got to take grandpa out to somewhere, the park or something, and you've forgotten to actually
Do you walk
purchase.
grandpa to the park?
No, not anymore, but I used to. And you've opted out of having a look at the page, or you've clicked the next tab that you've got open because Gloria Jean's got a sale on coffees for that day. We need to try and get those prospects to try and re-engage with us in some way, and we do that by reserving them different types of advertisements, not the same advertisement that you have already, to try and get them back in.
Let's give an example.
Yeah.
Someone comes from Facebook.
Yep.
Right, and they visit our homepage.
Yep.
Right, these people, let's say 93% of those bounce. They just go away. They don't come back. So we know that these people have only come to the homepage.
Correct.
They haven't gone any further.
Yeah.
And we're going to say that 7% of these guys have gone to the checkout page.
Yep.
So what you do is you basically say, I'm going to remarket to these people, these 93%,
Yeah.
an offer to get them back and check out.
Exactly.
Okay, so that is where you say you need to have some sort of advertisement that's going to intrigue them to want to come back.
It's got to have some sort of incentive. It's got to have some sort of incentive.
So you have an offer down the bottom here that says, hey, I know you didn't check out, I know you didn't buy this.
Yeah.
Here's an offer. Here's a 10% coupon, right? So that encourages people to come back. Now, these 7% that have converted, you can now then say what? Start another campaign and drive them to a different product?
You can if you'd like, yeah. You can upsell, you can cross-sell them on something else. But they can go into a list where you keep them updated on regular updates with your website. You might have new services or products coming back in. Or, better yet, it's a bit off topic, you can build out lists that look like these converting people, which is another topic we might get into on another day, but that's using the qualities of the AI technology that's going around these platforms.
Correct, because this is more about re-engaging.
Yeah.
Even though it's re-engaging is essentially remarketing, there's another level to this, which is lookalike audience, creating lookalike audiences to really bump things up, take it up another notch.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, you need to get clever about the way you tag people on the websites, whether it's a key page, like we've done here, whether it's, whether they've checked out, whether they haven't checked out,
whether they've downloaded a PDF or some sort of information you guys are providing, whether they have interacted with an offer on your page, you can then remarket that specific product back to them. So it does get a lot better for us with serving the types of advertisements we want, because we can really hone in on what they want, which is great.
Correct. So let's give them some quick examples of ways to re-engage.
Sure.
One way is obviously to run banners.
Yep.
And to say here's a promotion, like we said, or here is a case study, because essentially the way you got to look at this is that this is all telling a story.
Yeah.
Whether that's telling a story about how great your product is, or how great your services are, or how well someone's responded with your product.
Yeah.
It's all storytelling. So what you're saying is, when you remarket to these people, when you try to re-engage with them, try and figure out ways to do it creatively.
Correct.
So if the usual buying cycle for business A is to get them to look at the homepage and the video,
Yep.
then step 2 might be to download a brochure.
Yes.
Right? And step 3 might be that you re-engage on Facebook to engage a chat conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So start thinking about, how do I drip feed, which is essentially
Correct.
what you're trying to do. Drip feed the content, because as Nicholas says, sometimes you can't engage with a website an entire hour, which is probably what you need before you can make a buying decision.
Correct.
So instead, drip feed them bits and pieces so that they can become, I guess, they get everything they need to make that decision.
Correct.
Right?
And just before you go on from that point, the 93% of these people, we're not sure how they're going to, interact. So we need to offer them maybe an offer, like we said before. We need to offer them a piece of information, because certain percentages of that audience will interact with different things. Some people will respond to an offer. Some people will respond, make a purchase off social proof, seeing that other people are using that product or service. Some people just need to consume a bit more information, and then they will go and purchase. So yeah, we need to come up and be creative with what we reserve these people.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and one thing we haven't touched on here, we talked about Facebook, we talked about Google. Now we've got YouTube,
Yeah.
and we got shopping,
Yep.
and we got LinkedIn, which a lot of you can get a lot of advantage. Like, for instance, if you were just to run ads on YouTube,
Yeah.
you probably wouldn't get much bang for your buck.
No.
Because YouTube is like TV ads. You're just making them aware of something.
Correct.
You're running an advertisement just to catch their attention. But if they've viewed a video on YouTube, which is just a short little 10-second ad, and then you remarket to those people on Facebook and you say, hey, download this information guide. Now you start utilizing all of the mediums,
Correct.
right? Mediums meaning, the different traffic sources.
Yeah.
And today we have something that's incredibly powerful, and Nicholas and I, we're incredibly excited about it, is the shopping feed on Facebook.
Correct. Yeah.
And YouTube.
Yeah.
So what that means is, basically, if you've got a website that sells any products,
Yeah.
And you've got a shopping feed and you're running ads through Google, what can you do?
You can tag those people, and you can reserve them the exact product with an offer to get them through the door. And it works a lot if you guys shop on ASOS or the big e-commerce stores, eBay and stuff like
Amazon.
that. If you notice that you click on a product, maybe in a day or two, you'll get reserved that exact product, or that line of product, or the catalog of products.
Where you left off.
Where you left off, exactly. And you'll notice that they may have an offer tied in with that product, or they may make you feel like there's scarcity going on with that product, telling you that there's only a limited number. And like you guys, I've fallen for it many times before, and it works. It does. And just going back to like the psychology of marketing and human interaction, it takes us 7 times for us to see or engage with something on a subconscious and conscious level before we actually make a purchase. So this is why it's so powerful.
Yeah, that study was done a long time ago, and they determined that in a sales conversation you needed to hit people at least 7 times. It was between 3 to 7 times in order to make a sale. And this is no different.
Yeah.
This is no different. So we know that it works because, as Nicholas and I mentioned before, it's taking more of what we already have.
Correct.
Okay, Nick, let's talk about some of the challenges that big businesses have whenever they think about re-engaging. Like, one of them that we have here is, obviously, the one we talked about earlier, is circulating the same old crap, isn't it?
Yeah. So, for example, if someone has viewed a banner display ad and they've come across to your website, there's no point, and they've opted out, and now they're on Facebook here, there's no point reserving them that same banner, because chances are they're not going to click on it. They've already engaged with it, there's a reason why they haven't made that purchase, give them something else. Yeah, people often circulate the same old stuff, and it just, we call it banner blindness, and that means people just get accustomed to seeing the same colors, the same heading, the same image, and they just, they simply go past it. So get creative with what we reserve, and like we said, video works really well, and it worked for me the other week. I was going go-karting with some friends. I was organising the go-karting trip. There was about 10 to 12 of us. I had a look on a few websites, and only 1 out of the 4 remarketed to me. So I jumped on Facebook 2 days later, and I was booking a group session, and I jumped on Facebook, and they served me a video of all these guys jumping in the carts, having fun, driving around the track. Social proof. They've got the trophies, everyone winning stuff, etc. And because they re-engaged with me, I purchased with them. So
good work.
It works.
Good work. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, the most common is their tracking is all over the place.
Yeah.
Now, if your tracking's all over the place, what ends up happening is that you don't end up serving the ads correctly, number 1.
Yeah.
But number 2, and this is a good ending point for our next discussion, which is going to be more in depth about remarketing. But if your tracking is not done correctly, then the Google search engine or Facebook search engine or YouTube for that matter, it doesn't learn where it needs to position itself to get the maximum amount of conversions, right? Yeah. So maybe let's explain what that means in a nutshell, because there's even more power to this.
Correct.
Because, and here's the way we want you to look at it. So entry, you're paying $5 a visitor. Re-engaging, you could be paying $1.80. And then there's another step over here, which we call the AI. And that's the robot, right? The search engine that we tell this is where we're getting our conversions, and this thing can get it down to, I'd say we're getting close to about 70 cents in some markets.
Yeah.
70 cents. So you can imagine the power of this. So the way we can go from here, re-engagement, over to AI, remarketing,
yeah.
There's there has to be a level of tracking that's done correctly.
Correct.
So let's explain what we do in order to track correctly, because we do this in stages, right?
Correct.
We might have stage A,
yep,
which we track a video, stage B, which we track, say, a conversion form,
yep,
and then there's another stage where we may track something else, and then we add values to this, right?
Correct, and that's where we need to be with you guys. We need to add value to each of these steps. So a web page would be with minimal value. Not minimal because obviously the customer has engaged, but in terms of a purchase, it's on the lower end.
Correct. So the way to look at it is, if someone's come to your website and has engaged with your website, meaning they've just spent longer than a minute or so,
yeah,
that's an engagement, that could be worth $2 to you.
Yeah.
You've paid $5.
Yeah.
So you're running at a negative,
at a loss.
At a loss. But that's okay, because by telling Google this, Google knows that it needs to get to this, which is maybe a downloaded brochure.
Correct, yeah.
And a downloaded brochure could be worth to you $10.
Yeah.
And then a consultation booking could be worth to you guys $7 or $60. So what happens is Google will start optimizing itself through the AI to get to this, and then it'll serve you as much of this traffic as possible. And we've seen some crazy things, like certain times of the day bidding extremely higher than $5.
Yeah.
Only then to bring in more of the $60 leads.
Correct.
And we were like, whoa, that's interesting, because the bot learns over time what time of the day, what days of the week,
what demographics,
what
device they're using.
Devices, and that's incredibly powerful, because for humans, like, for us, we can't take so many of these parameters into account.
No, because we can't be there 24 hours a day, unfortunately.
We just can't.
And we let the bot do the work.
So tracking is key.
Yeah.
Telling a story
is
key. So they're the two main things that we find people often muck up with re-engagement campaigns. So we'll probably get into remarketing at a later time.
Yep.
I'm happy to leave it as that.
Yeah, definitely.
Unless you've got anything else that you want to add.
No, I think we've covered that pretty well, and hopefully you guys have got a better understanding of what you can do to try and maximise the traffic that you're already bringing in at top dollar. So, and it's only going to get worse.
Correct. So what are we doing? We offering what, 3 businesses?
We're offering 3 businesses a chance to chat one-on-one with us. We can have an environment like this where we sit down, go through some campaigns, and see if you're actually running a remarketing campaign. And if you're not, we can help you build one. Or if you are, we can actually go through it and we can audit it ourselves and give you some feedback on where you should be in order to try and bump up that 7% we were talking about before and try and maximize conversions on the 93% that you're probably leaving out.
Excellent. Okay, so until next time, thank you for watching and have a fantastic day.